But we know that we are going to be proceeding in steps. I've been using the evolution analogy a lot, maybe overusing it. There's another analogy which I use more commonly, and that is the analogy of an escalator. That we're getting providers of care and the public on an escalator toward ever increasing, more sophisticated uses of health information technology and of health information. And we have to make sure that they get on the first step. Now, comparative effectiveness research is probably not on the first step. If we made meaningful use in its first stage about comparative effectiveness research, there would probably be a lot of consternation in the health system. But we want to make sure that the escalator gets to the stop, called it comparative effectiveness research, with a high degree of probability. So we want to build into that first stage, the first step, the basic capabilities that comparative effectiveness research will require. And that has meant focusing in our first proposed rule on getting the basic information about patients and their health into electronic form. And then over time, the hope is that increasing incentives for the exchange of information and for its use in more sophisticated forms will lead toward comparative effectiveness research eventually. I think one of the great questions that we face is whether the American public and the attentive publics, stakeholders in the system, will have the patience to let that escalator go at the pace that it needs to in order to keep providers from peeling off because the rate of ascent is too fast, and to keep supporters who are appropriately anxious to see progress, who understand that information is the key to efficiency and quality, and who desperately want to solve the healthcare problems of our country, to keep them on board as well. That's the balancing act that I live with, but I'm confident that in many ways, in fact, I'm certain that history is on our side, that the wind, in effect, is at our back, because especially the younger generation of physicians like my two children who are in medical school are going to be, are not going to go to work in settings that don't have information technology and don't have exchange of information. They're just not going to do it. So there will be other incentives besides meaningful use pushing this evolution forward. There will be the desire to attract competitive, talented young clinicians. There will be the desire not to be the only hospital in town that doesn't have the ability to collect information electronically and share it with physicians. And eventually, there will be a professional consensus that the effective use of information is a core clinical competence, a core professional competence that is as essential to holding your head up as a clinician as it is to be able to use a stethoscope or a scalpel or a CT scanner. So that certainty is what enables me to sleep at night. And I'm sure that it should enable you to imagine a future where your work is a whole lot more interesting and exciting than it already is. And I look forward to participating in that future with you.